Good morning. It's an honor to be here, and before I begin, I would just like to tell all of you thank you very much for your service to our country. My name is Cavanaugh. My position is Human Resources Director for the City of Spokane. One of my passions is understanding how to expand the capacity of each of our employees by helping our employees do the right work as opposed to the work. One of the ways that leaders can help our employees understand what the right work is by providing, the correct visuals. One of the ways that we can do that is providing roadmaps and dashboards. And when I say roadmaps, I mean what is the mechanism I'm using to provide a direct line of sight between the tasks that I'm doing every day and completing and supporting the mission of the department or of the organization. When I say a dashboard, oddly following the last speaker, I mean what is the mechanism I'm using to provide feedback so that the person who is doing the work knows that they're doing the right work in the right way at the right time. So what I'd like to talk to you today is a little bit about our dashboards and roadmaps and feedback. Roadmaps and dashboards. Not unlike the Air Force, the city has multiple lines of business. We don't have some of the same really cool modes of transportation that you do, but we do have a fire department, we have a police department, we have people that pave, they don't pave runways, but we do have people that pave streets. We have our own group of attorneys, we have our own group of engineers, God bless their pointy heads. We have our own group of accountants, we have human resources, we have benefits. So, one of the questions we have as leaders are, how do we keep all of those multiple lines of business moving in the same direction so that we're all supporting the organization's missions and goals? When I'm talking today, I'd like to use some examples from one of the departments that I provided a huge amount of support to when I was in one of the line positions in human resources, our water and hydroelectric department. One of the things I really enjoy about being in human resources is I get to go out into the departments and understand just enough about their operations to be really completely dangerous when I talk about them. So I'll probably use some incorrect terms, and if any of you in here are actually in water, just put up with me, please. But one of the primary goals of our water department in the city of Spokane is that every time you turn on a tap, water comes out. Doesn't matter what kind of a tap. You're turning on a tap in the sink, you got to drink clean potable water. Turning on a tap in your sprinklers, you can water your lawn. If you're a firefighter, you're turning on a tap in a fire hydrant, you have water to come out and fight the fire. The mission, every time you turn on the tap, water comes out. One of the things that really causes concerns or the inability to complete the mission for the water department is a main break, or as we call it in a water main break, what they call it in technical terms, unscheduled maintenance. So, this is the picture of what can start to happen with unscheduled maintenance. The water starts to leak out, starts to bubble up, and the reason that it causes concern is it causes flooding, makes us turn off water to people when they're not expecting to have their water turned off, just causes wreaks havoc with our customers. Water main breaks can cause a lot of havoc with our customers. So I was out in the department, and we were talking about some of the things they were trying to have their crews do. And I said, okay, so tell me about the work that the crews are doing. And they said, well, we want them to be doing leak detection, and we really can't get our crews to be really, effective and consistent in doing leak detection. And I said, well, why do you want them to do leak detection? And they said, because we told them to do leak detection. That's why we want them to be doing it. And I thought, okay, I'm learning a couple things. We've got some command and control leadership styles here. Command and control is good in some instances, where you have a time-bound situation, or you have an emergency. I also learned that, I really need to figure out how to ask these questions so I can get information. Part of being a leader, as was referenced before, is influence. How do I get information so that I can influence the behavior of others? So I asked the question a little bit differently. I said, Okay, so explain to me exactly what leak detection is. The entire demeanor change. Oh, okay. Leak detection is like, okay, think about your water system at home. Okay, so usually if you have a leak, it's going to start as a little tiny hole in the water pipe, and a little bit of water is going to start leaking out, and it kind of sounds like, you know that drip, drip, drip you hear when you have something going in your faucet, the water dripping down? It's kind of an annoying sound. We have these really cool tools that you can hold over a water pipe, a pipe in the ground, and they can actually hear that happening. So we can do this leak detection, so that we can catch these little leaks. Okay, but pretty interesting. So tell me why it's important to the mission of this department for our crews to consistently do leak detection. Oh, okay. Well, it's really important they do leak detection so that we can understand where those leaks are and where they're coming from, so that we can schedule maintenance, so that people will understand that, we're going to not have water for a little while, so that we don't have unscheduled maintenance and main breaks. Oh. Well, have you ever told your crews why you're having them do that? Well, no. I said, okay, so maybe we can tell the crews that we have you do leak detection so that we can discover the leaks in the pipes before the pipes actually explode, so that we can have scheduled maintenance rather than unscheduled maintenance, so that we can have our customers have water consistently every time they turn on the tap. Roadmaps. Having some way to do the tasks that you're doing being in direct alignment with the goals and the missions of your department. Unless you have those, it's hard to stay interested. It's hard to stay motivated. It's hard to understand the work that you're doing and why it's important to do. And if you understand why the tasks that sometimes seem mundane and sometimes seem boring, how they link to the mission and the goals of the department and the organization, it's much easier to do the right work. It's easier to choose the work and it's easier to stay focused on the things that are going to keep you moving in the right direction. So roadmaps are an important piece of how we, as leaders, can get our work done. When I was first asked to do this, I started thinking, okay, roadmaps, and then I want to talk about how do you provide feedback. And I really started panicking because I cannot talk about how to gather feedback and how to provide feedback in this short amount of time. But maybe what I can do is provide information on why feedback and consistent feedback is important, so that maybe some of the people in the audience can take that information back so that they can start having the opportunity to provide feedback to people or get feedback from people so that they can be very successful in the mission that they're trying to complete. Because so that chain works in a bunch of different arenas. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about dashboards and why having some kind of a mechanism to provide some kind of focus and tell you how you're doing is important in expanding the capacity of your workers. But first, forgot about this picture. Scheduled maintenance is not as maybe as dramatic and fun as unscheduled maintenance, but it's an important thing and a step that our water department has to take. So, when you start talking about dashboards, think about some of the things that you like to do in your spare time. A few years ago, my husband got me interested in target shooting. Now, our son-in-law has our granddaughter doing some target shooting, and she's going to be quite good at this, I have no doubt. But the dashboard that we use when we shoot is that target at the end of the range. And that target is a really good dashboard because it tells me very quickly what I'm doing wrong and what I'm doing well. I can look at where I'm hitting that target, and I understand very quickly what I need to do in order to improve, what behaviors I need to engage in order to be getting to the goal that I want to get to. So, dashboards, they're important, they're a piece of feedback. A lot of times, the only feedback that we as employees may get are those yearly or those half-yearly evaluations, performance evaluations. But I'd like you to think about feedback more in the term of a dashboard. The dashboard in my vehicle looks nothing like this dashboard. But if I look at the dashboard in my vehicle, I can understand at a glance what my situation is. I understand things like, do I have enough fuel to get where I'm trying to go? I understand immediately, am I complying with regulations? One of those things that we need to do, a lot of us in our work. And I understand, what do I need to do in order to get where I'm going? So when I think about feedback in terms of a dashboard, go back to the car dashboard. If I had a dashboard that only showed up as often as a performance evaluation does, the dashboard in my car, it showed up every 6 months or once a year. The other times I couldn't see it. One of the things, or a couple of things I may be inclined to do is pull off the road to get gas, because I would have no idea how much gas I have in the car. I would likely pull off the road to get gas more often than I needed to. Or I wouldn't pull off the road often enough to get gas and I'd be stranded somewhere in the middle of nowhere. As that relates to work, if I don't have that feedback telling me what I need to do, when I need to do it, and how well I'm doing it, I may be doing extra work that I don't need to be doing. I may not be doing work that I need to be doing. So having that consistent, more constant feedback is a very important thing. Another thing about a dashboard, and something that I'm struggling a little bit with these days, is the dashboard on my car. When something, some system failure occurs, a lot of times all I see is some alphanumeric code that tells me nothing. I have to go somewhere so somebody can put a scanner down there and say, oh, yeah, this is your problem. Feedback from a dashboard needs to be understandable to the person who's receiving it. One of the other measures that the water department uses to determine if they're meeting their goals is number of customer complaints. And when we started thinking about that measure, I was working with management and water, and they had a really cool computer program that they were going to use to track all the complaints and make sure that they knew how many were coming in. And it was a little complicated, and it was invisible. It was hidden knowledge within the computer. So I asked them, okay, so where do the complaints come typically when they come into the water department? Oh, probably 90-ish, 95% of the time, the complaints come through our switchboard, through our dispatch operator. Okay, so they come in one place. How many complaints do you usually get in a year? No, we don't get maybe, 12, 13 a month. Okay. So how about something like this? Why don't you have a dashboard, like a clipboard with a piece of paper, and you draw, lines in the piece of paper to, here's 1 week, the next week, and every time the dispatch operator gets a complaint from a citizen, they make a hash mark. And then anybody who comes in, because they all come in and drop off their paperwork at the dispatch office, they can look at that clipboard and immediately know how we're doing with customer complaints. Do we have more last week than we had this week? We have less. But that's the next thing to remember about feedback. Am I providing understandable and clear feedback that people can pick up and use immediately? The last thing about feedback that is also, you can compare to a dashboard, is how often are you getting it? I did tell you that 6 months to a year is the normal time that people will get that feedback. If your dashboard in your car appeared every 6 months, how would you trust it? Or how much would you trust it? Would you believe the information you're getting? Or would you be, yeah, right, yeah, and go on your merry way? So feedback. Having feedback can be consistent in some way, providing it or getting it, having feedback be understandable, and they were really right about this clock, and having feedback be delivered to you in a quick and observable way. So, roadmaps, being able to link the work that I am doing to the mission of the organization, and feedback or a dashboard, a way to consistently know if the work I'm doing is the quality work that needs to be done in order to get my organization where I'm trying to get it to go. Thank you very much. I'm good.